Hey, everybody. Welcome to the live stream broadcast. Glad to have you here for another Monday, May 24th, 2021. I'm Tom Gentile, your host today. Got a lot that we want to get into today, so let me get right to it. Just tons and tons of stuff to talk about. We have, where do I begin? If I were to, we'll get to the news here in a moment, but I want to talk about the news. I want to talk about cryptocurrency. That's the biggest news. We'll get into that as well. Your picks, your stock picks, my stock picks, and much, much more. Also, my scan of the week. I want to share that with you. And because we are in a holiday, or we're coming up on a holiday week, I thought I would share with you at the end of close to the end of our broadcast, I want to share with you a holiday scan. All right. So we're going to look at Memorial Day. Memorial Days past, the last 10, 20 years, and try to find ourselves a scan that will work around Memorial Day. And I'll target it to some really big name ETFs, and we'll just see if there's anything out there. All right. So again, I want to thank all of you for coming in. Richard, hello. Rosemary, Taryn, glad to see you. Julio, Bill, let's see, Napoleon's here. Alicia's here, Craig's here, Daniel, and many, many more of you. Mark, good to have you guys here. Mark's from the Bronx. My wife's from the Bronx. She doesn't call it Bronx. She calls it the Bronx. But hey, I know people. A good friend of mine just shortens it to BX. So good to have all of you here. And you guys, you know what we do here. For those of you that are new, all right, we don't just throw darts at a board. We don't just look at emotion and trade on emotion. We don't do guesswork to decide what's going higher or lower. And we definitely don't trade on news reactions. We don't run with the news. In fact, in a lot of cases, we like to run against it. And I've shown that in recent broadcasts where we've seen a big news announcement that'll push something one way or another. And I've shown you how using contrarian strategies, trading opposite of that, has had positive effects. So that's the kind of stuff that we do here. All right. If you're looking for somebody who's just going to show you charts and say, oh, that one's going up, this one's going down, this is not the right broadcast to be at. There's several folks out there that have thousands of subscribers that follow them and get very emotional. The space apes, the to the moons. They're great out there, but we don't trade that way. All right. We look at rules-based trading. So what we do is we spot rules-based opportunities. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Going back a minimum of 5 years, looking for patterns that repeat themselves. Right. From there, we will create alternative risk trades, simply other than buying and holding long stock. And then finally, what we do is we create plans from start to finish, including stop losses, including profit targets and or ending targets. So we like to do what we call checkmating the market. All right. So once again, lots to cover here today. Really, when you take a look at some of the news that's out there, and Maverick has it, we've done really well with our currency picks, with our crypto picks. And right now we're kind of sitting. I do have a buying opportunity today in crypto, and I'm going to share that with everybody here on the YouTube channel because it is one of the big coins. I'm going to be showing you actually how I placed that. I have not taken the trade today, and I took one over the weekend. Wished I would have taken it yesterday and not Saturday, but I'm going to follow that up with another buy today, and I'm going to show all of you in the room exactly how that happens. So thank you all for being here. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe our channel. We're close to 20,000 subscribers. Once we hit 20,000, I'm going to be celebrating by doing an entire week of live streaming. All right. So maybe that's going to happen next week. Maybe it's going to happen the week after, but it's going to happen real fast as we are approaching the high 19s coming into today. So once that happens, we'll be doing an entire week of live streaming, and I will be inviting all of you here for that. All right, so let's go ahead and move right into it and talk about, well, you know what? Before we get any farther, I have to show this. I have to talk just a moment about our disclaimers on the screen. And you can read this in its entirety. All you have to do is just take the recording that's going to be out later today and just pause that recording. In fact, let me just drop the banner so you can see the whole thing here. I'm just going to mention two quick things before we begin. Number one, stock, options, and crypto. They all have large potential rewards, but they also have large potential risk. You need to be aware of that. Number two, I'm not an investment advisor. I'm here just to show you how it is that I spot opportunity and create alternative trades in this marketplace. All right. So that's the disclaimer. And let's talk about the news. So what are the big news events coming into today? Well, number one, crypto. So when you take a look at the big cryptos, they're off an average of about 50% since their all-time highs. Some a little less, some a little more. All right. And we'll take a look at some of the big ones and see where they stand. I want to talk about where my buy points are, and I will be buying one of these big cryptos before the hour is up. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that for those of you that have never purchased crypto before or just want to learn a little bit more about it. All right. Number two, so Biden's tax plan, among other plans, has kind of hit a wall right now, and there's a lot of resistance against it. Obviously, there's, no one's going to be 100% on anything, but that, I believe, is having a lot to do with the market heading higher today. And then, of course, if you look at also what's gone on in commodities. So commodities have really taken off and they've gained they've just gone absolutely ballistic. And no one is spared the move in high prices. We've seen those high prices that have moved over into even buying new homes. I can tell you, I said this before, and we're really seeing confirmation. So I was out. My daughter's real estate is a real estate broker here in Florida, and I was out with her. We were kind of checking out some of the new homes, and they're doing stuff that I've never seen happen before in Florida. They're doing sealed bids. And they're now, doing now bidding on lots. That's how crazy it is down here right now. And this is in the west side, the Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota area where this is all happening. But I imagine it's happening almost everywhere in the state of Florida if you're looking for something close to the coast. And so that's all due to two big things: increases in demand, which just basically people are just coming from different parts of the country to get down here. And I don't know if it's for the warm weather, but it's definitely for the state income tax, which is zero. But the other thing is happening is we're seeing lack of supply created by the pandemic. And that could be in wood materials, steel, concrete, etc. And so that's causing a lot of prices of everything to go higher. And guess what? It's happening in solar too. So solar, we've seen for years now a drop in price and a rise in efficiency. Well, the drop in price has reversed course because the panels, the products used to create solar panels, are all going up in price. It's resulting in a higher price in solar panels. So this is something that's these are the top three trendy news. If you go out there and look everywhere, these are the top three things that are popping in. We're going to talk about definitely one of them. Definitely talking about cryptocurrencies, because that's an important one to cover today. So again, here's where I want to go. I want to start out talking about the markets. I want to talk about stocks. I want to talk about FANG. I want to talk about your stocks. So I'll get to a point where I'm going to ask you for your favorite stocks, and we'll do a little piece on that. I want to go back and look at cryptocurrencies. I want to see that double bottom that occurred in the last 7 days, and where we see that popping, all right, where we see that popping as well. And from there, I have a holiday scan of the week. We're going to look at Memorial Day, and we're going to pop in there. We're going to look at that holiday prices. Claudio, I'm with you. Home prices, even in New York, in the suburbs. I have a house in the New York suburbs that's going to be going on sale pretty soon because, we're just we're not up there as much as we used to be. And so I'm going to be taking advantage of the sell side of that market. So I'm with you on that one. But take a look, guys. We get into the scan of the week. I'm going to be jumping into my own personal software at tomsoptiontools.com. We have a 2-week free trial for those of you that are brand new, that have never used our software before. It's an options analytics software. It's won several awards. It's back in here again for 2021. The best of the best award. We actually took not top prize because it's hard for our David of software to go up against the Goliaths of TradeStation, the Goliaths of Thinkorswim. But we were in there. We were in this book, and we're excited about that because that's a Reader's Choice Award. So we're excited about that. If you want to check that out, check out a 2-week free trial. You can see that in the description below this live stream. All right, so let's move into the markets. I have waited long enough. So we're going to start, and what I want to do this week is I want to take you through I'm throwing everything on the screen today, and I want to explain what we're looking at here when we look at everything, right? Because there's a lot to look at here, a lot to digest. But what I like to do is I like to layer things. I like to look and see what's going on seasonally, what's going on technically. Is there anything fundamentally going on that makes sense in the markets, and really just throw it all on the screen? Because again, I'm looking for those high historical probabilities, those patterns that happen time and time again. We're starting off with the S&P 500. And I've got, if for those of you that are looking at the S&P 500 with me, and let me just bring up a big mouse on the screen. I've got to find that mouse that I've put up on here in the past. There it is. Let's bring it on the screen. There we go. All right. So left-hand side is price. Down across the bottom is time. This is the area I'm most interested in, the hard right edge. And the hard right edge is going to tell me, is going to give me ideas of what's going on right now, or what I like to call, what have you done for me lately? So we'll start with the S&P 500. I'm going to zoom in here real quick. And what we're looking at is I've layered up on the S&P. I've layered channels, and as you can see, we've got long-term channels going up. That's the red channels. We've got intermediate and short-term trends on the S&P going sideways. However, we're coming back up. I mean, you look at where we were this time last week, and we were down close to 400 on the S&P, on SPY. Now we're back. Looks like we're possibly going to take a crack at the 422.09 all-time high. Definitely looks like it. The last 4 days, we've seen big rallies in the market. We're getting an extension of that again today. We gap up. We went gap up this morning. We've been rising on that move since the open. We are not that far away. We're at 419.27 as of this particular hit. And so we're really looking at a little bit less than 3 points before hitting that all-time high. Now, this is seasonally a good time to be in the market short term. Because typically when you go back, and I'm going to show you this, all this research, we're going to look at that data here going forward. But if you look at this particular week and next week, very, very bullish seasonally when we're looking at all this information on the channel. All right. Glenn, you're asking, is this a regression channel? What these are channels that very close to regression. We use standard deviations, but it doesn't look anything like a channel like you might see with Bollinger Bands. All right. What our computer does is it snaps a variance above and below highs. All right. And we push that variance going out. And it really gives us an idea of where the volume and where the volatility is likely going to take us to the upside or downside. As you can see, the 38% retracement at 401.80 coincided with our short and intermediate term channels. All right, very close to that, we've bounced. So here's the numbers I'm looking at on the S&P right now. Obviously, the 422.09 number, because that's the all-time high. The other one I'm looking at is we get above that, and we're really kind of sitting close to 425. And then, of course, there's the 430 number that's up here at the top. So we get above this. I believe if we come up and we hit that 422, we're going to take out a lot of shorts, because there's a lot of folks that are short above that level, or they're short and they got buy stops above that level. So I believe it's very, very likely that, and again, no guarantees. All right, there's no guarantees in trading, but the pattern seems very likely that SPY is going to jump to 425 and could do that by the end of next week or even sooner. So that being said, we could look at that as a potential target right in here in the 425 level. So if we look at the pullbacks, and the rest of these pullbacks, I don't even care about. I don't really care about the 50, the 61, or the 100% because they're not in play. We bounced off the 38%, or very close to it. And we're now moving back up into all-time high zone. So I look at now not pullbacks, but extensions. All right, I've been looking at extensions on this. So that's what we see happening. And we could get a little bit of wiggle room here. That's something that's to be expected. But again, we're going into, keep in mind, we're going into a week where we really don't have a lot of news coming out. Most of the earnings, if not all of them, are behind us. We're going to get a couple stragglers there. But the majority of earnings for Q1 are now in the past. Now we're heading into the doldrum, those dull days of summer. And we are unofficially kicking off summer because this weekend is the unofficial kickoff to the 2021 summer here. Typically, that is bullish in the stock market, right? We'll look at data in a few minutes. So going forward, this is the S&P. Let's take a look now at what I like to do. And what I like to do now is I like to go forward and see kind of, what the other instruments tell us. So we do the 40,000 foot view. The first part of the 40,000 foot view was the stock market. Now I want to take a look and see, what are bonds telling me? What is the US dollar telling me? What are commodities like oil and gold telling me? And then we'll get into most popular stocks. And then I want to hear what you have to say, what your favorite stocks are too. So we'll get to that. That's coming in just a few minutes. Now, let's back up again and take one, now looking at what we call our next 40,000 foot view. And that's going to be looking at TLT. TLT, for those of you that are brand new with us, TLT is the iShares Barkley 20-year Treasury. This basically is something that moves with Treasury bonds, right? It's the ETF for Treasury bonds. And so I look at this and I see if the stock market's been going up, this is an inverse correlation of that. However, it's gotten way oversold lately. And so I do expect a bit of a bounce to happen in the bond market. And so as you can see here, now in this case, the Fibonacci level starts high and ends low. And so I'm looking for pullbacks in fib levels to be the 38% level is 143.02. Keep in mind, we're talking about something that was at 157.73 at the beginning of the year, came all the way down to the low 130s and has now started a bit of a bounce. We have not yet come up to the 38% retracement level, but it stands at 143.02. So we've been kind of moving sideways. Do we get to the 143.02 area? I don't know. What I do know is that if you look over here, look closely to what the channels are telling us. Channels are down, but we've got the intermediate term channel and the short-term channel moving sideways to slightly higher. Where do these areas show resistance? Well, a big area right in here with the stock chart peaks and with our short-term number is just above 140. Now, we're talking about something that's trading right now at around 138.47. So another $1.50 higher between now and next week looks very likely because that seems to be the trend that's happening. The last 4 days, the stock market's gone higher, and the last 4 days, bonds have moved with the market. So this could be that short-term bonds oversold, the stock market doesn't care. Bonds might be moving back up into that high area once again, which is right around the 140. 140 looks like a very good level of resistance for bonds. After that, we're talking about around the 142 level. That's going to be right here on the chart. That's where we come up to the top end of the short-term channel we see. So we've got a lot of resistance areas that are 1.5 to 3 points higher. And keep in mind, you might say, Tom, 1.5 to 3 points is nothing to me. I'm a crypto guy, or I'm an alpha stock guy. I'm trading Tesla. I'm trading Google. I'm trading Amazon. And while that may be correct when you're looking at things in pure dollar amounts, in percentages, it's a pretty decent move. And in options, if you use options to trade these type of ETFs, lower risk than stocks, and you still could get the kind of percentage moves that you like, the 50s, the 100% returns, if these targets actually come to fruition. All right, so stocks out of the way, bonds out of the way. Let's move into cash. I'm going to look at this one real quick. I talked about it last week. We had a low at 24.10 on UUP, which is the double dollar index offered to us by PowerShares. And you can see here, we kind of come up and we've hit 25.14. That happened just before April. We've got the pullback that occurred right into last week as we're coming right back down to near that 100% low. This is one I throw out Fibonacci. Not working. But what's interesting is we're coming down to the end of Fibonacci. We do have some lower lows that could be happening, but we'd have to cross below that 2409, and we're talking about just below 24 at 2380 would be an area of resistance. So that is stocks, bonds, and currencies. And as I'm just popping and looking at some of the chats that are happening here, guys, keep in mind, Claudio says, don't bonds usually move lower when stock market moves higher? And Claudio, the answer is in the long term, yes, they do, because stocks are a risk on asset. Bonds are a risk off asset. So when we see a lot of traders coming out of stocks, they go into bonds. And when they come out of bonds, they go into stocks. And that's for big moves. But this is a week where we're going to get, I believe we're going to get little short moves to the upside. This is the week where the Hamptons are going to, traders are going to get to the Hamptons a little bit earlier. They're going to start off the Memorial Day. You're going to see, I believe, if history repeats itself, volume is going to become less and less and less. In fact, as a trader, I plan on taking Friday off because I believe Friday is going to be a very lackluster day as we head into the 3-day holiday weekend. So any short-term trades that I have going on, I plan on being out Thursday by the close. All right. So, and is crypto going to go up? Keep hearing that. All right, I'm going to get to crypto in a few minutes, and I'm buying today. For those of you jumping on, I'm buying. Not only am I buying, I'm going to show you a buy I'm going to do right here live. For those of you that are new to crypto, I'm going to actually go into one of my accounts, and I'm going to buy one of the biggest cryptos out there, not because of emotion, but because we're getting signals that are happening on this particular crypto right now. Okay, so let's move into commodities. Let's talk about commodities for a few minutes. We've been talking about commodities. We've been talking about how commodities have been really been going higher. I've been really bullish on USO and the oil market. Here's USO right now. And if you take a look at USO, I'm looking at about a 100-day chart. 100 days ago, we were trading at 32 for USO. We jumped up very quickly between really January, February, March. First quarter, bam, big move up into the mid-40s. We had a pullback, and we've just been having a really tough time getting into the, above 45. Well, we hit 45 over a week ago. We had a pullback, and now we're gapping up again. Commodities are a risk-on asset. If the stock market goes up, I expect commodities to move up. Oil, we are ushering into the summer holiday season. So what's happening are traders are getting above. They're getting above that, or getting into the season, or getting ahead of the season, and they're buying. And I expect oil is going to be making some new highs here within the next couple weeks. And I expect oil is going to, I call it trickle up, but, demand will be hot this summer. We've got the more and more people getting vaccinated, and that's just going to make more and more people want to get out and maybe view the great outdoors, maybe get somewhere to see their parents, their grandparents, folks that haven't seen in over a year. So I expect this summer's travel to be one of the best on records, and I believe that's going to be pushing oil. That's the fundamental. The technical is this. Seasonally, oil goes up between now and July 4th. Technically, oil is in an uptrend. You see it right here on my screen. If we were to bounce into the part that I think is the most important, you can see here, we really haven't pulled back much at all. We pulled back to this dotted level. This is something we like to call stock chart peaks. That became support last week. And from there, we're gapping up. That 539 area looks very likely like that it's going to be taken out. That means the next area of resistance is going to be the top of this chart, the intermediate term chart. And where is that pegged at? 47. From there, 50 becomes the round number, and I believe 50 is going to be hit sometime later in the month of June, possibly July 4th. That July 4th holiday, we could see something happening right around that area. So this is, again, something that's on my mind as far as an asset that could go higher. All right, you want to see another asset that could go higher? It has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but it's very quiet. It's one I've been talking about every week now for the last few weeks, and that is gold. And the symbol we're looking at is GLD. Now, GLD, again, what's happened with GLD is that we've seen this almost a V formation where we were in the 180s, and this was at the beginning of the year. GLD dropped down and was as low as 157.49. We double bottomed here, right, in March and again in April. And since then, we've started climbing out of the gutter. And now oil is back up, and we're now trading in the mid 170s. This one, 182.86, is then, we break above this consolidation. Look at all this. Look at all this resistance that's happening. And there's a lot of stuff that have to, that are coming in play. We've got the high that happened last week, right? We've got the top of the chart, the short-term chart. We've got the top of the long-term trend down. All of this is occurring right around that high that we hit last week, which is where? Just around 176, 177. Call it 177. We close above 177, and then I believe we're back in the low 180s for GLD. So I like the stock market short term over the next, when I say the next month, like the stock market. I like oil, and I like gold in those particular commodities. And so there's some really nice seasonal bullish patterns that are happening with these three. Some longer, some shorter, but they're all consolidating in the month of June. And we're going to go through the month of June. And what I want to do with you next week is we're going to take a trip into one of the areas that I do a scan. We're going to scan into the money calendar next week, and we're going to get into more of these. And when I talk about them, I'm talking about getting into some more descriptive, more detailed approach to how to trade those three. But I'm just showing you them as an overall market view. All right, so there we go. So that's stocks, bonds, currencies, and commodities. And now that takes me into the actual, we get into some actual stocks. So I'm going to ask you right now, as we're talking about the stock market, I'll get into cryptocurrencies probably in the next 10 minutes. But as we talk about the stock market, let's go through stocks real quick. And let's talk about the big stocks, FANG. So I'm going to go through FANG, and then any of you that have a stock, all right, I'm going to apologize right off the bat because I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all of you. But any of you that have a stock that you want me to take a look at and highlight, I'll be glad to do that here in just a few moments. Folks, if you're just joining me, we just went through stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities. I'm going to get into crypto. I've got a scan for you, a scan of the week. Please do me a favor. If you find this channel educational, help us out. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm and shares our channel with others. Thank you very much for doing that. But please like, share, and subscribe our channel. And then the other thing I want to mention is that if you're on here, feel free to chat with me and the others. I do have Super Chat set up that if you want to donate to the channel, all of our proceeds, all right, all of the profits from this channel go to charity. And we're highlighting a charity this month, which is called LBX Sports, which will be donating proceeds from our channel to LBX Sports. It looks like we're going to be doing that here this week. And I'll tell you more about it as we go through, and we'll talk about the donation next week that we end up doing to LBX. But keep in mind, every penny that we generate from our YouTube channel does go to charity. So you're not donating to me, all right? I don't do this to monetize. I do this to help share information with folks out there on how we create rules-based trading strategies. But your donations, the way we monetize this channel, it helps others out there. So just keep that in mind. All right, so let's get into Facebook. We'll talk about Facebook right now, and then I'll talk about your stocks. Facebook, uptrend, Facebook in the last 2 weeks has moved off the bottom of 297.47, as you can see here. Now we're coming up to those all-time highs. Again, this is the season. I'm not talking about Christmas season. I'm talking about this is Christmas in June. All right, this Memorial Day to July 4th has more than enough times created bullish opportunities. And one of the reasons I believe that is because of the feel-good approach that happens during the summertime. And there really is a feel-good approach this year, because this is the year more and more people are going to get out. And I think that's going to translate into higher prices for stocks, for commodities, possibly for crypto, especially after the week we've had. I'll get to that in just a few minutes. But FANG looks to be moving higher. We bounced off the 38% retracement at 297.47 just about 2 weeks ago. New highs today. We're seeing that the area of 340 to 350 on Facebook heading up into the month of June. Take a look at Apple. Apple's had a really tough time of it getting started. The lows down here at 116, the highs that occurred up at 143. This is one where we've seen the trend down. And we did break the 61.8% retracement, but this just tells me ignore the Fibonacci channels. They become support on the downside and they become resistance on the high side. And what we got to look at is we've got to look at these channels. The long-term channel on Apple is sideways. So this is one, it's just hard to find a pattern on Apple when it comes to technicals. Amazon, same situation. I mean, we've got an uptrend that's occurred, but we've come through, we did break through the 61.8% retracement, but we're really stuck in here. We're stuck in these three channels. And then if you take a look, you got this longer term up, intermediate sideways and short term down. We're creating a triangle effect. I believe we've got to break above the 32.72 level, or we got to break below 31.50 before we find any kind of trend on Amazon. Moving forward, take a look at Netflix. Netflix, we start on the high end at 586.34. We hit the low end that just occurred just in the last week, and we've been kind of bouncing around the low. And we got a little bit of lift off here, but I have said that Netflix technically looks like a bear here. Right, so that's Netflix. Take a look at Google, the trendiest of the FANG stocks, as it is close to its all-time highs once again. The last 2 weeks have really helped it out. Didn't even come close to the 38% retracement, but did come down to the bottom of our shorter-term trend, broke above it, needs to get above 2392. Let's call it 2400. 2400, we get above 2400, 2550 is the next area that I see as an area of resistance at the top of this chart. And finally, before I get into your stocks, take a look at Tesla, and you can see here Tesla, again, another one that started on the high side near 900, the low side over here near 550. We bounced up, we hit that 61% retracement at 760, and really kind of dropped through. We came very close to making new lows here last week. We pulled up, and you can see here these highs that have come in on Tesla. If I just take a look at Tesla and just update to the latest chart, let's see if anything has changed. Really, nothing has changed. You can see that Tesla is near its highs for the day, but we're going to make some significant moves higher before I look at Tesla as a bullish opportunity. A lot of the reason Tesla has dropped has to do with Bitcoin, because if you take a look and you take a look at these areas, all right, mid to end of April where Tesla saw highs. This area is also where Bitcoin saw its highs, its all-time highs. And since Bitcoin has been dropping, so too has Tesla been dropping. Last week, Bitcoin was down there around the 30,000 mark. That's where Tesla made its new low. So Bitcoin came down and came very close to hitting it again yesterday because it trades 24/7, but yet it has rebounded a little. And that's why you're seeing Tesla rebounding as well off that news. So let's see what your favorite stocks look like, and I'm going to jump to the comment section, and I'm going to try to go through these as quick as I can. Before I do, Andy Reeds, I want to thank you very much for that super chat donation there, and I'm going to start with you, my friend. Any thoughts on sonicboomtoken.org? Their pre-sale launch is in a few hours. I was thinking about getting in. Any advice? All right, Andy, I'm going to let me bring the big chart up here, or the big screen up here real quick. So the first thing I can tell you is that when it comes to, for me personally, when it comes to anything, what I've kind of learned as a rules-based trader is that I need data before I start trading something. And so what that means is that I personally don't trade anything that launches. And I'm talking about typically the stock market. I personally don't trade anything that launches. I find that that when we see a launch, I like to see when it comes to like daily, when I'm looking at daily patterns, I need years and years of data. I need 5 years at least. If I'm looking at intraday patterns, and I'm looking to trade it short term, I've got to have at least 30 days of data. And so, that's the minimum I'm going to look at. The other thing I'm going to look at is in the stock market, it's got to be optional. But you're talking about crypto. And so when it comes to crypto, things are a little bit different there. I still need data because for me, I've got to find, I look at currency waves. So I need about a year's worth of data on the long term. On the short term, I need a minimum of 30 days. But if you're looking at this as an investment, okay? If you're looking at this as an investment, then, obviously you're probably thinking more like 10x to 100x. And if that's the case, that's not looking at it as a trader. So what you have to look at is say to yourself, well, how much am I willing to lose? And, we always say that in the stock market. Hey, if I buy Microsoft or if I buy Amazon, what's my risk? Well, we know with Microsoft and Amazon, more than likely our risk isn't that it goes to zero. Our risk is that it hits some stop level. But with cryptocurrency, our risk is that it really could go to zero, right? And I've had some in the past where I've jumped in and I've been down 90%. Take a look at Bitcoin, for instance. All right, in 2017, Bitcoin hit a high of near 20,000 and it dropped all the way back down to below 4. So that was an 80% drop. But for anyone that owned it at $1,000, which a lot of people did, I mean, I was mining it for less than $1,000 back in 2013 for hundreds of dollars. So that was a 20x move for me before it dropped. And since then, we jump up to the 60 area. I've got 60x on some of my coins. So you have to look at it that way, I believe. So you got to look at it like, all right, I'm throwing this in some cases, almost like a lottery ticket if you've got no rhyme or reason. And so you got to think of it like that. So my brother-in-law owns Doge, and he owns Doge at below a penny. Now, below a penny, it really was a lottery ticket because no one knew where it was going. But now, it's traded upwards of 50, 60, 75 cents before dropping down. And so he's seen a huge, huge X return. And so if you're looking at it, again, like a pre-launch, like an ICO, all right, initial coin offering, then you've got to look at it that way. What really are you? What are you doing in terms of that? And how do you look at that? All right, so let's take a look and see if we've got any other any stocks that are going on. I'm backing up as much as I can here, guys. So I see. Okay, let's start with QMS. I've seen you in here before. Let's go ahead and start with Verizon. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take the top 10 stocks. I'm going to move as quickly as I can, and then we're going to move into cryptocurrency because that's what a lot of you are here for. So let's do that. So top 10 stocks, VZ, and I'm talking about the ones who jumped in first, Verizon. And what I'm doing is I'm putting them on the screen, and I'm going to, let me bring the screen up and make it a little bit bigger. You don't need to see my face. There you go. So there's the screen. Let's bring it up as high as I can, and I'll make this as quick as I can. But we're going to be looking at this in the eyes of channels today. The channels of Verizon, as you can see, they started from low to high, pullback, hit the 68% pullback. We've got to get above 57.47 for Verizon to see a resume to the normal trend. All right, next one I see is AUG. We talked about AUG last week, I believe. This is a gold. You know what? It's not optional, but I'll mention this. AUG, if it is what I think it is, which is the gold, that gold ETF, then I expect so goes GLD, so goes AUG. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. You know what? I want to highlight you guys that are on here that are putting these in. So let's do that. Bill is asking about RCL. So let's go ahead and type in RCL on the screen. RCL. And Bill, so looking at RCL, here's what we see. I mean, you got a lot of kind of movement here, but RCL really was a bottom to top story back at the beginning of the year. Since then, we've been trending down. We have hit that 50% and recently the 68% retracement level, bounced off of that. We got to get above and close above really where we are right now. And for this to move back up to the $90 range. Otherwise, that 77.09, we drop below that, and we could be heading back down to the lower end of the range for RCL. All right. So thank you on that one. Romeo is asking about Shopify. So let's take a look at SHOP, and let's put that on the screen. And there's Shopify, and you can see a couple of different channels we got going on with it. But if I were to kind of consolidate these all together, take a look at what's happened here, Romeo. So you got 100%. You got the high up here at 1474, which happened back in February. You got the big drop that happened. And this more than likely coincided with earnings after the gap down. Lows down here are just above 1,000. And then we've kind of started moving back and forth again. But you know what I want to do? I want to consolidate all these channels together. Let's run the channel test on these. Yeah, long-term down. Again, I'm looking at that 61% retracement. Get above and close above 1,300, and the narrative may change. But really, it's coming into a very big area of resistance. You got a double top that happened here from last month, and you got to get above all this channel consolidation that's happening with this particular chart. I'm going to move down to, let's see, Roy, we discussed Apple already. Ying, thank you very much for the comment there. I love that. Appreciate that. Let's take a look at Snap and SNAP. SNAP, that's a fan favorite for day traders. And you can see here, but if we look at Snap on a longer term chart, let me blow this one up here and we'll take a look at it. And guys, I mean, you can get candlesticks from anything. You bring it up yourself. You can get Fibonacci's. You can snap them if you want to. My computer auto snaps them for us. But these trend channels we have are something that we put together that our computer does for us. So again, for those of you that are new with us, if you're interested in checking out our software, then we got a free 2-week trial for it. For those of you that never tried it before, you can go to tomsoptiontools.com. Take a look at the description below the LiveTrade, our LiveTrade session today, and you can find that link and check it out. So let's see what else we have happening here. Going back to our comments. So looking at Snap, I see Snap really 1, 2, almost 3, almost a triple bottom that's happening here. Getting above and closing above 62 might break that trend that Snap's in right now, which is just a sideways trend. Even the charts are not giving us any trend. This is more of a channeling type of trade where traders are coming in and buying at the bottom of the range and selling it at the top of the range. All right. What's up with Hertz? I haven't seen Hertz in some time. I actually did a video on Hertz last year. HTZ. That's how long it's been since I've looked at Hertz. But let's take a look at it. Remember, that was a dollar stock long ago, and since then they have done some changes there with Hertz, and so nothing I can bring up on the screen in terms of options. All right, let's do a couple more here. Oh gosh, why don't I show AMC? All right, Dennis is asking about AMC, so let's look at AMC, and that one I believe I can show you in terms of options, because even though it's a small dollar stock, look what's happening here. This has gone higher. You want to know what the story is on AMC that's causing this to move higher today? So Saturday Night Live did a little session with Vin Diesel. And they did a spoof with Vin Diesel. Come back to the movies. And he's talking about the movies, the popcorn, the stuff that he goes, come back. I miss the butter that comes out and it doesn't look like butter. And I like the seats, the sticky seats, the movies. And he's doing a whole big pitch on the movies, the real movies. And it was an AMC commercial. And I believe all that attention caused AMC to jump today, and that's why you're seeing the jump in AMC. I got to say, AMC, between that and a lot of the potential move for the company to have more big investors coming in to potentially push it, buy it. There was a buy offer last week as well. This is causing AMC to get some running room again. I'd say a close above 15, and you might have the Reddit community push it to 20 once again, and possibly beyond. We'll see what ends up happening with that one. All right. And I am going to stop right there in terms of what it is we're looking at in terms of stocks. So I apologize to all of you that had stocks you wanted me to look at. We'll do it again next week, and I'll try to switch it up as best I can. But thanks to all of you that have talked about stocks. We're not done yet. I got something really cool I want to share with all of you. We got to get into crypto. And by the way, I typically do these live streams for an hour a week. This one's going to take a little longer because I haven't got the cryptocurrency yet. So let's get right into cryptocurrency. For those of you that are just joining me, we did a stock outlook. We did your favorite stocks. I want to get into cryptocurrency because that's important, because that was really the bulk of what we've been, of what the news has really told us this week. So let's get into it. Now, I look at cryptocurrency charts like this. All right. So our cryptocurrency charts, we look at a couple of different ways. So first of all, I think crypto is such a big news story. I'm more than likely going to do a video tomorrow. All right. And me and the team were discussing what we were going to do and I came in after what happened yesterday, and I'm like, man, I effed up. And the guys goes, what do you mean? I said, well, we're having a great year in cryptocurrency. The picks have been phenomenal. We're down on a couple of our open positions, but you really pulled out of a lot of them for huge profits before the drop. And I said, yeah, but I effed up. And what do you mean? I said, well, I looked at shorter term charts when I was doing Fibonacci's, my retracement, my buy zones, and I look back again, and I need to update my buy zones. So that's what the video for tomorrow is going to be about. It's looking at new and updated buy zones on all the big cryptos. So let's talk about Bitcoin right now. I got a 200-day chart on Bitcoin on the screen right now. If it looks like I'm looking in the opposite direction, I'm not. I wish I could take that little position I have over here. I wish I could move that to the other side, but it won't let me do that. So when I'm looking this way, I'm really looking at one of my screens. And the screen I'm looking at is the one you see right now. And so you could see, take a look at what's going on here. We've got a crypto that hit 63,558 pullback, move higher. Then we got the pullback down. And last week, if you remember, I was with you last week, I said that I expected us to pull back down and to get into this 50% retracement, which was just below 40,000, right? And I personally bought in. I bought in on some crypto when we hit 40,000. And then I bought in again over the weekend when we were in those high 30s. Of course, we dropped back down to the low 30s. And here we sit right now. Let me update this to the latest chart that we see here. All right, so right now it looks like we're trading around 37.5 for cryptocurrency. And in fact, I can look at a Bitcoin chart right now here, 37. There it is, kind of moving along. That's my Coinbase account right there. It's one of the areas I store cryptocurrency. This is the one I'm actually going to work with today. But I see 37.5 coming down, hitting around 37.5 level. We got as high as 38,750 earlier this morning, and we've kind of pulled into this area. So 37.5. All right. We hit 33,449. That was the 61% retracement level. We stabbed that twice. Stabbed it last week and stabbed it again yesterday. And so I'm looking at this as a pullback area, which is I think a great area to be buying in. So I am going to show you. I'm going to buy a few $1,000s higher than I want to, but still I'm going to show you this as a buying opportunity. Why I believe it's a buying opportunity right now. Not only is it for crypto, but I want to show something else with you. We have something called darknet signals, and darknet signals are a way of looking at channels, in both stocks and in cryptocurrencies. Now, darknet has proved to be really good with Bitcoin. As you can see, the darknet buy, darknet sell. Here's the buy, here's the sell. These are previous buys and sells. Right now, this one right here didn't do too well. This one did okay. And look at the sell that happened, and then just the preceding what happened on the way down. Well, look what happened today. Got a buy signal. And so that buy signal occurred obviously at the bottom of this chart. We've moved higher since, but I believe that this might be a great area where we may see a reversal. Today is the first day that I have seen since the top of this area weeks ago, where we've now had a candle that has moved up to the beginning of the candle that moved down previous. So we have a 2-day candle reversal happening, right? So I like that. I like that opportunity, and I'm willing to go in and add some more to my crypto position, and I'm going to do it here live with you, right? So let's talk about how you do that. All right. So a couple different ways you can do that. I saw somebody saying that Robinhood was a big headache for them. I don't disagree with you on that one. That's, it's a great way for people who do not have a crypto exchange like Coinbase or Binance. It's a good alternative to buying. And there are several stockbrokers now that allow you to go in and buy Bitcoin or buy crypto. But this is, an area that, an area I like. I like using Coinbase. And so, also owning Coinbase stock is another way to potentially go long the cryptocurrency markets. Owning Coinbase, I think it's a much better area than going into the other Riot blockchain. I think Riot blockchain is a tough one. All right. And John, I see you chatting up about the video tomorrow. So if you're not a subscriber, all right, if you want to get access to that video right when it comes out, then subscribe to the channel. And then once that video comes out, you will be one of the first to know about it because you'll be notified. Maybe what's happening is you're not dinging that notification bell. And now I think that's a good time for me to talk, to say thank you to all of you that are out there with me right now. We have over 1,000 people here today. This is awesome. And like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Let me show you how we do this with Bitcoin. So it's very, very easy. I can use Coinbase. I can use Coinbase Pro. Either way, I have the ability to go in and purchase some Bitcoin. And so if I were to go and, you know what, I'm going to split this up. I'm going to split this up a little bit. I was going to go buy a Bitcoin, which is now trading at 37,362. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spread it out a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and let's do this. Let me just buy. I'll do 15,000. So I'm going to do $15,000. All right. And what I'm doing is basically I'm going in and saying I'm going to do a dollar denomination of Bitcoin. So I could do it in terms of 15,000, or I could do it in terms of the actual BTC. So if I flip it over, I could say, all right, you know what I want to do? I don't want to do it. I want to buy half a Bitcoin. So I can go in here and say 0.5 BTC. So 0.5 BTC is going to cost me what? It's going to, well, if we click on preview the buy, then I know it's going to cost me right over here, $18,823. Going to pay $280 in fees. I don't like those fees. All right. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to revisit this. I'm going to back this thing up a little bit, and I'm going to go to USD. Let me do this. Let's go back to USD. No, I'm not going to. I'm going to buy $1,000 for the Bitcoin, and there's a reason I'm doing that. All right, because I want to show you how you do it in a simple Binance account. So let me just preview my buy, and then it's just a matter of clicking on buy now. All right, there's the 3 dots. And let's see what my order was submitted. And so I'll get an email when that goes through. All right, probably not going to get it at 37,432. Maybe going to get it a little bit above that. All right, so that's one way of doing this. Okay, another way of doing this is using, I can use the Coinbase Pro account. So if you have Coinbase, you also have the ability to use Coinbase Pro. You still have to sign up for it. Right. But one way I could do that with Coinbase Pro is to come in and let me just set this up and show you how this works. So you slide over my Coinbase Pro account, and then I'm going to pop in here. And so in Coinbase Pro, now you can see Coinbase Pro has a lot more glitz and glamour to it. And so I've got BTC up here, all right? And if I want to go in and buy, I can put it in here, and I can actually put it at the market, or I can put a limit order in. So if I want to buy 0.5 BTC, and I want to put a limit price in of, let's call it $37,500. Preview my order. You know what? I got to go back to the other one. So I actually have to put funds from this one to the other one, which I will do outside of this. I don't want to do that too much detail with you, but just let you know this. Coinbase, we can go in Coinbase here. You can place market orders. It's very easy to do. What I do is I draw from my bank, and based on how long you've been doing this, it allows you to start out with a couple thousand, and as you do it, you gain trust with them, and then they'll increase the amount you can buy and sell based on the amount of information you share with them. So if you share more information you share with them, the more they let you buy and sell. Coinbase Pro allows you to go in, and now I have to move dollars, and I have to move dollars or Bitcoin from Coinbase to Coinbase Pro in order to use the Coinbase Pro piece here. Now, what I could do is I could go in, and let's try this, because I know I can do this on the phone app. So let me find another area I can go into and show you guys this. I'm actually going to do it on my phone. Again, the benefits of having doing this live with everyone is I'm going to go through and, oh goodness, I got to run an update. Let's see. Let me just skip the update, see if I can do this anyway. So I'm going to log on to my phone right now. And, oh, look at that. I'm live. I just got a notification that I'm live. I'm going to log on to my phone right now, and I'm going to display the phone on the screen. I'm going to try to anyway. So to do that, I need to do some screen mirroring, and I'm going to screen mirror right now. So this will take just a moment, and while that's happening, let me go back and let's put the big screen up there. All right. Put the passcode in. Let's do a little screen mirroring here. Takes a little bit of time to do that. And here we go. Let's move over. Okay, so it looks like I'm ready to go. And just want to log in real quick so I have this ready before I show you guys what it is I'm looking to do here. All right, so now this is my Coinbase Pro app, as you can see. And in this case, now you're looking at my phone as I'm using it. So watch this. Scroll up, scroll down. All right, there's my phone. Scroll up, scroll down. It's that's live. So if I want to go in and look at Bitcoin, I can look at BTC, and then down at the bottom I have the buy and the sell, and I can click on buy, and I can put my limit price in. And you know what? Let's just put a limit price in of 37,000. All right. So how much do I want to buy? And I can put in again 0.5 BTC. Now, take a look at the fee. The fee is about 1/3 of the fee that you see there, and that's why I like Coinbase Pro. Coinbase Pro will allow you to do these at 1/3 of the fee. So the more you trade in and out of these, the better the better Coinbase Pro is going to work for you rather than Coinbase. So I thought I would just share a bit of that with you guys so that you can see what it is that I do on the actual phone. All right, so coming through, let me take a look at some of the chats that are out there as I'm going through them, and then I want to show you my final scan here. So as we're seeing Bitcoin, let's keep an eye on Bitcoin and see where it ends up going here in the next couple minutes here. Hope you're all making money. Yes, I hope we're all making money too. Coinbase has limit stop orders. Absolutely. SEC is investigating buying us. SEC will probably be investigating everything because they're going to have a larger budget here within the next 6 to 12 months, and they'll be going out and investigating all utility-based tokens. All right, Brian, I'm with you. I'd rather do it on Coinbase Pro, and that's what I just showed. So I think what we'll do now is let's take a look at a couple more coins before I jump over to my final piece. And the other few coins I want to mention is this. I see you guys are saying there's no fee for buying Bitcoin on Robinhood. That is true. But if you take a look at the difference between the what you can buy it and sell it for, it's much wider. So what Robinhood does is through Robinhood Crypto LLC is they actually widen their bids and offers. So you don't pay a fee, but you know what you're paying? You're paying in additional, if you do market orders for sure, you're paying that additional spread between the buy and the sell. Now, if you do a limit order with Robinhood, then you're getting what you pay for, and that makes sense. All right. Let's put the big chart back on the screen, and let's jump into or back to cryptocurrency charts. So that's why I like Bitcoin right now, is that we've got channel buys that are happening, and every other channel buy I've seen in the past has been a winner. So that's why I love this particular example. Again, I'm going to say it loud and clear. There is nothing I'm showing you that has a 100% guarantee. I'm both a crypto investor and I'm a crypto trader. I like trading crypto, and I like trading, especially this volatility we have right now. And for the most part, it looks like the volatility may be heading in our direction. But again, no guarantees. Crypto investor. Well, I was a crypto investor when we came up to the high of 2017. I saw an 80% drop in it. I wrote it all the way down, wrote it all the way back, because I'm looking at a big part of my crypto balance to be something that is years and years out there into the future. And so I want to mention that to everybody as well. All right. So let's take a look at the other big one. I'm actually going to look at two more. Ethereum, not Ethereum Classic. Ethereum ETH. So here's ETH going on right now. I want you to take a look at these two darknet signals we had in Ethereum. So we have buy and a sell, and those came in. That buy came in at 1,000, and the sell came up around 1,500. Then the latest one we had was a buy that was around 2,300, and the sell popped up right over here around 35. Right, so that was some good moves as well. We have not seen a darknet buy yet on Ethereum. And again, let me make this very clear. As a trader, I don't trade because I think something's going up or I think something's going down. I trade when my rules-based trading strategies give me buys and give me sells. All right, that's what I'm looking at in terms of those cryptocurrencies. All right, let's look at one more. We'll look at Doge. Oh, you know what? I want to look at Ethereum, but I want to look at it with the Fibonacci charts. So to do that, I'm just going to change to my crypto charts. Let's update that, and let's see what's happened in the last 200 days. In the last 200 days with Ethereum, we've gone from below $500 up to 41.78, and look at the pullbacks that have happened. 38% blew through the 50, and almost hit the 61 in one day. Well, we hit the 61% retracement yesterday, and we bounced off that. That looks like a strong area as well. But I haven't seen a darknet buy on this, and I like to see those stacks. I like to see buy stacks. What we like to call stacking compression. And so I haven't seen that yet, but definitely looks strong, stronger than it's looked all week. In fact, I haven't seen a bar on Ethereum since we were up here near 4,000s. That's the last time we saw it was 2 weeks ago. Not a nice big bullish bar like we're having right now. The candles on some of these were really wide, so I didn't like those, but the candle's looking really good today. But we'll see what the rest of the day and the week brings us for Ethereum. And finally, I would be remiss if I did not talk about the one that I'm not in, and that is Dogecoin. And so for that, I've got to move to all symbols, and then I've got to move to DOGE. Dogecoin does not yet trade in Coinbase. However, I'm hearing more and more that Coinbase is looking to bring Dogecoin on, and so that's that's a real possibility. And so that could very well happen. So as you can see here, Dogecoin, and we know Dogecoin topped out at 75 cents. We look at closing highs. We don't look at all time, those wick highs. But since that 75 cents, we've gone through the 38% retracement. That was at 42, the 50% retracement at 34, and we hit the 60% retracement twice. And guys, that was down here at 26. And right now we're trading around 32. If that 26 holds, I tell you this, I typically don't like trading something, I hold to rules. But if you want to use that Fibonacci resistance area down there at 26 as a rule, and you want to couple that with the fact that that possibly the day it starts trading on Coinbase, we have seen this in the past. When coins go on Coinbase, they on average jump 100%. So if you're looking for that 100% to occur, and you're saying to yourself, if 26 could become 52, then I've got or 26 could become 0. That's a 1x return. Or if you're looking at 26 that could become 52, or 26 could become maybe 20, right? That's a 4x return. If you're looking at it in that premise, then that in my mind makes sense. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about as we, as we move forward. All right, so what have we covered so far, and what do I have left to round out this session? So we have talked about stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities. I went into some ETFs with you. We talked about the FANG stocks. We talked about your favorite stocks as well. A lot of your favorite stocks. Some of them I didn't get to. All right, we talked about cryptocurrencies. Okay, so I want to talk about, as we go into the last session of our live stream, LiveTrade for this week, I want to discuss, I really want to get in and I want to discuss the holiday that we have coming up. All right, I'm going to go back through, I'm going to talk about the holiday pattern, but this time what I want to do is I want to share with you how we back test these holidays. All right, there's about 8 to 10 of them per year. And we have a way of back testing them going back as far as 20 years, before the holiday, after the holiday, and even in between the holiday, using something we call our holiday trader. And so before I do that, folks, for those of you just joining us, want to welcome you to the program. We do this live stream every Monday. I will not be here next week. I will be somewhere between my house and the Gulf of Mexico. So I will not be here next week. I'm taking that long holiday weekend, and I suggest you do the same. But we will have a video on Tuesday. So what we do is we do live streams on Monday. We do videos on Tuesdays. We do on Thursdays, we do podcasts. And I do podcasts with my good friend, Chris Johnson. And so for those of you to get all of those, then subscribe to this channel, because we do about 3 of these a week. I want to thank all of you who are subscribers. And if you would like this broadcast, that would be fantastic. That helps the channel. It helps the YouTube algorithm. And share this. When we get to 20,000 subscribers, then I will be kicking off an entire week of doing live streams like this at noon every day during the very next week after we hit that 20,000 number. And I imagine that could happen next week. It could happen next week, or it could happen the week after. It's going to happen soon. And with your help, it'll happen sooner rather than later. All right. So the other thing I want to mention, too, is that feel free to chat with us. We do have the super chat donations up there. I appreciate all your donations that you're donating to the channel. Those all go to charity. I want to mention that as well. All right. So let's get into our scan. So I have a scan here for you that I want to share with you called Money Holidays. Now, Money Holidays are part of our big bank of data and our big bank of algorithms here at Tom's Option Tools. And like I said earlier, for those of you that are brand new, we got a lot of option tool folks on here right now. Those of you that are Tom's Option Tools traders, please share that with us right now. If you're using our software, guys, please let everyone here in the community know. Would love to hear from you. I want to know where my TOT, my Tom's Option Tools traders are. So please let me know, guys. I appreciate it. We've got some, again, 2-week free trial. If you haven't tried out the 2-week free trial, check it out. You can actually get into the money calendar, all of our patterns there that you see above here. I'm going to be getting into the money holidays trading pattern today. And you get a 2-week free trial of this and all of what we offer in our option trader, contrarian trader, and complete trader. Just choose which one that you want the 2-week free trial on, and you'll definitely get that. All right, so moving forward, if you see what I did here, what I did was I took the SPY. I'm going to blow this up as best as I can. So what we do is we can take any very high volume optionable stock or ETF, and we can run a look back on it up to 20 years amongst holidays. And the holidays we can look at are Martin Luther King Day, Washington's birthday, Good Friday, Memorial Day, which is I'm looking at now, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, and let's not forget about New Year's Day. So we have got a good 9 U.S. holidays. These are U.S. holidays where the markets are closed. And because of that, we have a way of going back and seeing some of the patterns that happen around holidays. Because the theme behind the holidays, there's a feel good around U.S. holidays, and that tends to lead folks to come in and buy. And we want to get ahead of those. We want to get ahead of those traders, get ahead of them on the way in, get ahead of them on the way out, right? So let's look at Memorial Day. So what happens during Memorial Day? Well, we've got, again, a holiday. That Monday, the market's closed. We got the Indianapolis 500 that happens on Memorial Day. We have, again, salute to all of our veterans and those that have served our country. And I want to thank those of you out there who have or are currently serving our country. But what we do is we look at this and determine where we can find buying and or selling opportunities. So I'm going to show you right now how this works. SPY, 10 years back, Memorial Day. What I'm looking at is I'm going in and I am looking at, if I hit Memorial Day, I can go before Memorial Day, after Memorial Day, or in between. So we're going to look at the 10 days before and the 10 days after and see what happens. Actually, you know what I want to do? I want to bring this down because we're 5 days before Memorial Day. So let's look at 5 days before. Wow, did you hear that? That was my stomach. I'm doing intermittent fasting too. For those of you that are interested, heard that growl. If you heard that growl and you wonder where that came from, that was not a sound bite. That was my stomach looking for a bite. 5 days before, 5 days after, I'm going in what's called the bracket. And this will run thousands of tests. It ran 1,000 tests before, but I'm going to hit submit. And now I'm going to look, and it has run 250 tests right now. And of the 250 tests, it ran 10 years back. We found that going in 3 days before and 2 days after, not much of a big move, 0.28%, right? Average 60-cent profit. There was a 70% chance that the markets were going to move higher between 3 days before Memorial Day and 2 days after. Now, 0.28% may not look like much. So let's bring this out. And that's what I did was I said, well, how about 3 days before and how about 10 days after? Let's take this thing out a couple weeks. Let's take another look. By doing that, we were able to run 500 tests. Remember, the more days we use before or after, the more tests are going to be generated. Because what the software is doing is it's looking at 1 day before, 1 day after, 2 days before, 1 day after, 3 days before, 1 day after, and then it recycles. It's looking at all this information within seconds and brings back this info for us, and it ranks it. And we rank it. We can rank it by, in this case, let's rank it by average percent. So 1.69% was the best that we could do 5 days before, 9 days after, and that's giving us a 70% probability. Let's take a look at that one a little further. So if I click on it, come down a little bit, and I see, well, this is what happens, Tom. 5 days before and 9 days after Memorial Day, we did see a loss in 2011, also in 2013 and 2015. But look at the last 5 years. Winner, 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 big winner last year. We had a winner in 2014, a winner in 2012. If I click on these winners, I can see exactly what happened. And you can see here, look what ended up happening during this pattern. It took us all the way out to June 5th, right? So this is all great information that's at our fingertips. And what we look for is we try to look for something, you know, that will, like if I wanted to rank it by accuracy, I see that I've got some buys out here. Here's one that's a 2-day before and 9 days after with 1.16% average return. Let's take a look at that one. And that shows us the last 5 years and then the previous 5 years. So last 10 years, but we've had 8 of those 10 years have been profitable and 2 of those 10 years were losers. So I have the ability to look at all of this information. And so from there, let's move forward. All right, so is there anything better than the S&P? Well, let's take a look at bonds. Does the bond market offer anything looking at these holidays? All right. The bond market says 90% probability of a buy 4 days before and 4 days after. Wow, I'm interested in that one. Look at that. Every year except 2013, the bond market moved. And the bond market last year didn't make a big move at all. Kind of started down here around 161.5 and it ended at 162.5. But look at the year before. Look at the year before that. All right. All this information is available at our fingertips. So when the question came up earlier, when someone was asking, doesn't bonds move up when stocks go down and vice versa? Yes, for the majority of the time it can, but most of the time but when we're majority of the time it can, but when we're dealing with small bite-sized pieces of information like the holiday trader, we find areas where you get that move one way or another, where they may both move together. And during the holiday season, they typically do. All right. How about USO? Take a look at USO. John's asking, did the holiday calendar run a list of scans? We'd look at one at a time, John, because and we could run a scan on this. And actually, you know what the scan is called? It's called the money calendar. We can run that whole scan on the money calendar going forward 30 days and see what goes up or down. But we're just crunching this into a small one at a time scan. Take a look at this. 4 days before, 10 days. Now, don't let this red scare you. This red is that we look at the markets heading down, right? We look at the markets heading down and we could possibly profit to the downside. So let's rank this by accuracy. Here's a 90% move 2 days before and 3 days after, where we see USO actually drop. Now, remember something. I was mentioning USO earlier in the program. I said, hey, between now and July 4th, USO could go higher. Absolutely true, but USO could make a little short-term drop. And for the last 10 years, it's typically done that. We've seen that pullback happen. And that could be because a lot of traders that are retail traders going in and buying oil might suffer a little bit of pullbacks before we see the month of June start to carry it into July. And that's what this is telling us. All right, let's take a look at one more. How about GLD? GLD. All right, so GLD typically has 70% to 90. Well, we have a 90% little one-day trade there. I don't follow one-day trades. I like the ones that are much longer. If we rank this by percentage, you'll see that the 3 days before Memorial Day and the 6 days after, we have a tendency of moving higher. But you can see last year didn't happen that way. Last year, we ran down, we came back, a slight move down. Right. So what I like is to see, when I look at these moves, I like to see 80% or greater, but I also like to see those last 5 years, 100. I need to see all 5 of those moving in one direction. And that's what I see happening there. All right. We talked about GLD the last couple of weeks, and that's been a great hedge. And 510, I'm with you there. Mining stocks, in precious metals, really, I mean, that was a great hedge for me against cryptocurrency the last couple of weeks. And so that's been a really nice one. Hassan, we're talking about the market going up. I think short-term market goes up. I think we get maybe a little bit of fluctuation here, but I also believe that as we head into, and I'll talk about this next week, we head into the month of June. I'm going to show you my best picks in the month of June as we move forward and take a look at where this market looks as far as the stock market for the month of June. All right. So, guys, let's just do a quick summary here. So we have discussed stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities, FANG. What else did we get into? We got into cryptocurrencies for sure. We also talked about your favorite stocks as well. And we ended out talking about a scan that I utilize called the Money Holiday Scan, which is part of our Tom's option tools. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you want a 2-week free trial, then check out the description below the link. We'll get you a 2-week free trial there on any of the things that we offer in the option trader, contrarian trader, complete trader categories. Again, I want to thank all of you for being subscribers. Thank you very much. If you found this information interesting in the least, I more want to be educational with you. I want to be less entertaining, but I know it takes a little bit of both of that, as we're watching this program, but really kind of showing you where I go. And I also bought a little Bitcoin today too. And I have one right now that's on limit that I shared with you guys. So you guys see that I've got some skin in this game. I got a lot of skin in the game of cryptocurrency, but most of it's on the investing side. Very small bit is on the trading side. But please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. I've got details coming out tomorrow in tomorrow's video of where I see the cryptocurrency markets going and my buy zones for the big ones. All right, guys. So thank you all very much for joining. I appreciate all the comments you have out there. And like I said, we'll see you again. Video tomorrow, podcast on Thursday. I'm taking the week off next week, so no live stream next week. So I'll see you in a couple weeks when we get into the month of June. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye now.